336-464-1806. Mark, 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. Stations, we're coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, mark. 1 minute stations, 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studios, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime on my mark. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Coming up on 15 seconds till airtime. Mark, 15 seconds stations. Have fun.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Rice Sports Network. On the Rice Sports Network from Learfield, live from Cocina. Welcome to the Mike Bloomgren Show. Cocina, serving undeniably authentic Tex-Mex. The Mike Bloomgren Show is brought to you by The Parking Spot. The Parking Spot. We have airport parking covered. By the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 716. Lighting up Rice University and Houston for over 100 years. Now, alongside Coach Bloomgren, here's the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Yes. Welcome back. We're here at Cocina in River Oaks. Just marvelous. Why did they do this to me? I had Ernie's chicken. I got a new favorite. I mean, some problems in life, it's a very first world Tex-Mex problem, but I can eat Tex-Mex. What can I say? It's one of my few talents. And Ernie's chicken is outstanding. Armando was telling me they have these new sunset-style fajitas. Any of the fajitas they have with the shrimp brochette, the chicken, the beef, the ribeye, all that stuff, and they serve it on this the cilantro queso, and then they have these crispy fried onion strings and arroz, rice for you non-Spanish speakers, side of guac. It is just amazing. They have the dilemma margarita, 3 layers, start with strawberry, take a mambo taxi, and you arrive on some mango. It is just fantastic. And they're still serving those Mambo Taxi margaritas at Rice Owls home games. The next Rice Owls home game is coming up November 2nd against the Midshipmen of Navy. That's a 3 o'clock start time. That was announced earlier today, and that'll be on ESPN2. Take note of that. That news was released earlier in the day. A lot coming up on this one. There's a linebackers theme in this one. We have couple of the mini star linebackers on the Rice team. It's a very deep room, as we've talked about a lot in the past. We have the pride of mini stops across our nation, the great Myron Morrison on the show. We have Ty Morris, talk a little baseball with him as well, too. And we have the great John Kay coming on to talk about the linebacking core, his coaching past, and his thoughts on this year's team. And then Coach Bloomgren comes back and will preview Jim Mora Jr.'s Yukon Huskies team. Everybody remembers last year's game. And then this year, they could be a tick better. They're 4-3 on the season. Of course, they're independent for now. But they've got a talented quarterback. They've got a talented running game and a very sturdy defense that will just kind of get into and talk about on the surface what they look like. Owls lost a hard-fought one at Tulane this past Saturday. A lot of talking points coming out of that one. And just appreciate you all for tuning in tonight. We're on the Rice Owls social media channels with YouTube and X. Howdy to all of you out there. And we're also on the Rice Owls Game Day app, the Varsity Network app, and riceowls.com. And I've got, host a show, yeah, but got the banner, the flag. And I think it's going to stay. It fell once before the show. But between Ryan and Ryan's a Baylor guy, so you don't hold that against him. But the state school education I have, we got the flag up. So adding a little of the, you like it, right? It's good. See, it's good though. I like the backdrop here. Thanks to Walter Engineering. Talik back in the studio. Enough of me yapping. Let's get to Coach Bloomgren coming up next. We'll talk some Owls football here at Cocina. It's the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
At Shoppers, we get all kinds of John Deere tractor questions, like what horsepower tractor do I need? Do I need a four-wheel or two-wheel drive? What kind of attachments do I need for my John Deere tractor? The Shoppers tractor experts have the answers to all those questions, or you can go online and create your own John Deere tractor with our Build It, Price It, Own It tool. It will give you costs along with finance options. You can see all our specials by Googling Shoppers at SHOPPAS. Shoppers, your John Deere tractor experts and proud sponsor of Rice Owl Athletics.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The Parking Spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking, and you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at the Parking Spot. The Parking Spot, proud sponsor of Rice University. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
Owl fans know where to stay when they come to Houston. Courtyard by Marriott, Rice University is the preferred choice, whether cheering on Coach Bloomgren and the team or kicking off their Rice experience during O Week. Just minutes from Rice Village and only 3 miles to campus, we provide the right mix of convenience and accessibility. When you're hungry, stop by the bistro for either breakfast or evening options. Cheer for the Owls by raising a glass in the lounge and unwind with your favorite beverage. Call 713-661-5669 to make a reservation, and be sure to ask for the Rice University rate. We look forward to welcoming you.
You ready for the big game? Fuel up for game day at Salad and Go. Whether you're tailgating, playing in the game, or cheering from home, make sure you've got your game day greens. From fresh salads to hearty wraps and refreshing drinks, Salad and Go has what you need to fill up and feel great. Score big with game day greens from Salad and Go. It's just what you need to win the day. Find a drive-thru near you at saladandgo.com or order online at saladandgo.com.
Welcome back to the Mike Bloomgren Show. Here's the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
You can't make it up. You can't make it up. I think I pulled it down, Ryan. I pulled it down. I don't know if Ryan can hear me. It comes down when you pull on it, apparently. Anyway, the banner I was just yapping about. Shouldn't brag about it. Stay tuned. We have linebackers Myron Morrison and Ty Morris joining us, along with linebackers coach John Kay. But right now, the man to my left is, of course, Dunlevie family head football coach for Rice Owls, Mike Bloomgren.
Yes, sir.
How are we doing?
Doing great, man.
Good. Tell us, aftermath of that one, obviously another stinging loss, but so close for much of it. And, the final score not indicative of what the game really played out, just what you thought that game came down to in the end. I guess that one big drive where Tulane went up, but from your perspective, what was it?
Yeah, I think, obviously you never want to allow a team to score in the fourth quarter. We all know that. You got a lead, you want to keep a lead. But at the same time, that game came down to turnovers, including 2 in the red zone. And that was the bottom line. Those things, you can't go 5-0 turnover margin and expect to win anybody's football game. And, you could say the last one doesn't matter. Well, that's fine. It's still 4-0, and they're all huge. And one of them goes back for a touchdown. Like I said, 2 in the red area. and just unacceptable ball security. And, so I thought our defense played so well, to hold that unit to 17 points after scoring 71 their last time out. That's a heck of a day. And it's hard to ask more of your defense in that situation, but we do. We have to ask more. We have to say, hey, we need that fourth quarter stop. You got to get them off the field one more time. And the other thing we need from them is turnovers. We've got to create some turnovers. Offensively, there's a lot of things to fix. A really good first half. Did some great things. We're protecting the passer well in the first half. And the second half, the dam just broke. We weren't able to protect them. It's a good, violent front. We knew who they were. And up front, we just did a poor job protecting the quarterback. I thought he took way, way too many hits. And we didn't give ourselves a chance in that fourth quarter to go down and do what we needed to do. Keep scoring a couple points, get a couple more in the box, and leave New Orleans with the win, which was simply our goal. And so that's what it came down to, is turnovers. Pretty good day at the office for the special teams group. Really proud of them. I thought we won a battle there. That was a good game within the game. Some outstanding returners that we didn't allow to get started. And we had a 10-yard punt return and a 25-yard punt return. And every ball we kicked went through the pipes, and we got points for it, which is how that thing's supposed to go. So some good things there, but still certainly not like we're satisfied in any way. We know we can play better in all three phases. We know we need to if we want to go win this game at Connecticut this weekend.
Anything specific you might attribute the turnovers to? Because sometimes they're fluky, we know, but anomaly. But like Dean, for example, we looked up a note. He had like 220 carries since his last turnover.
Isn't that crazy?
And then it happens again where bam, that review. Don't get me started on reviews, but it could have gone really either way. But I could see his reaction. He knew anyway, but not to pad because it's your show. But like anything that you noticed a trend with those, like how that happened?
No, not at all. And there was nothing in practice to prepare it for us for that. Whether it was EJ with the picks and or Dean with the fumbles. Like there's nothing. There's no ball security issue. There's no time where we're having to really coach Dean, hey, make sure we're keeping it tight.
Because he was on that other one.
Yeah, on the first one where he broke the big run, But again, like you just got to go to two hands there. And, he had a good grip on the ball, but it's always the guy you don't see that's going to come in and punch it out, and that's exactly what happened. And, again, when we talk about those interceptions, those two interceptions were critical. The last one, again, you can credit that to the offensive line instead of EJ if you could in the stat sheet. But the first two, like, hey, we've got to see the whole picture. And EJ understands that whenever he releases the ball, he has the final say on whether it's a good opportunity or a good throw that we need to take for this football team. And so, again, he's the one that holds all of our livelihood in his hands, and we just can't make those throws, and he knows it. So, again, I don't fault him or any of our guys for wanting to make a play. We just got to make sure we take the training from practice to the game field, and we're able to apply it on Saturdays. And, I think in totality, we have to talk about EJ and the warrior that he was, how he kept getting up and kept getting up and kept giving us a chance. And so those are the things you really appreciate. And Dean's second fumble, certainly, like you just said, under review, in slow motion, did he make a football move? I don't know. It was a pretty bang play. But they called it a fumble, and Tulane gets another scoop and score to add to their stats, leading the nation. And they are a very well-coached team, and they are a very good football team with explosive players everywhere. So a lot to be proud of in terms of we fought them and took them to deep water. But we're kind of over that. We're kind of at the point where we want to win those games, and we got to make sure we find ways to do it.
EJ took a really hard hit at the end. How's he doing now?
We had him go through the process of getting an MRI yesterday and actually did one on his elbow and did one on his shoulder, and everything looks the same as it did before.
Good.
As you can imagine, he's sore today, and that's no surprise to anybody. So we're hoping to get him back on the practice field, doing more tomorrow than he was able to do today.
He found Kobe Campbell a few times, 6 catches, career high, 100 yards, kind of a two-parter, the development of Kobe, but also in that game specifically how vital each one of those yards were.
Yeah, they were critical. And I thought Kobe had another one on their sideline where it looks like he does a great job catching the ball, keeping both feet in, and controlling the ball to the ground. And, again, they must have had a different angle than I've been able to see because they overturned that one. But it doesn't matter. All those plays in totality, you got to be proud of Kobe for what he was able to do. His first 100-yard receiving game in his career. And like we said, could have had a few more even.
Yeah. And Matt Sykes punches in his time card in another Matt Sykes game. Are you seeing teams start to key on him differently now, or is it always like, hey, they're going to try to take him away? I don't know the right way to ask the question. Are they doing the same sorts of things? Are you seeing different?
Because of the position he plays, because he plays the X receiver and he's the bigger body in our offense, a lot of people are always going to try to cloud over there when they are a split safety team and give him more attention, almost the 2-in-1 treatment, depending on the coverage they're running.
Yeah.
And so we are seeing that, and I think Matt's just doing a great job running his routes and taking advantage of the opportunities when the ball's in the air. Like, he is going and attacking the football. And since that Army game, man, he has just been a different guy. He has really turned the page. Whether he's coming out of the infirmary or the hospital or what have you, he's just making plays for the Owls on Saturday and in a very quiet fashion. So quiet in his voice, but loud with his play.
Yeah, I want to petition the NCAA if they ever listen to get guys an extra year of eligibility, because you see guys hit that. In a lot of sports where you get that senior last half of the season, but it'd be awesome to see those guys, the receivers, are speaking of having an extra year, right? How cool would that be, right?
Yeah. See if you can get that done.
I'll work on it. I'll add it to the to-do list. You might have a little more sway than me, but you mentioned the line. Any closer, Ethan Onyeama coming back? I know he was cleared, and I didn't think I saw him and announce his name at least. Is Big E closer to getting ready?
Yeah, so Big E did not participate in the game against Tulane. John Long did play today. Ethan took every rep. And so we do expect to have Ethan back this weekend.
Makes quite a difference. You have a
potential
NFL guy out there.
Potential NFL guy, and then the ability to move Chad Lindbergh back to guard where he's a little more comfortable and should help us with those game passes, and just it really solidifies the inside part of our offensive line.
The first part of the defense, as we segue in there, I want to get to is Pops, Michael Daly, got the sack. 13th different guy with a sack now on the defense. What does that say about the balance? You're one of the nation's leading teams, but there's not one guy who's really carrying the load. How about Pops and just the kind of equal nature of the sack defense?
The juice that he plays with and the confidence that he plays with right now, like he is a fun member of our football team. He actually addressed the guys before and after practice today. We always have a leader talk to him, and he was super in that role as well. But I think he's just taking advantage of every opportunity. And Josh got a little banged up during the game and was fighting through some things. So Mike Daly ended up with more opportunities and really took advantage of them. But you talk about that early sack. You talk about the hits on the passer, because just like they were hitting our passer, we were hitting the heck out of that redshirt freshman. And we made his day pretty uncomfortable. You saw him leave the field and their doctor checking him out because he wore a few hits from our guys. And that was a big key to us having that game the way we did and allow our defense to have that kind of performance, is how we were able to affect that guy and how we were able to stop the run, certainly for 3 quarters.
Yeah, things that in the end don't matter too much, but I went over to their, just saying goodbye to their radio crew after, and they were all like, oh my gosh, that's the hardest we'd have to work in a win in a while. And a lot of that's because of the defensive effort. What else stood out about the defense that you and Coach K and Coach Smith are proud of?
Oh, I think the physicality of these guys. Like, and when we play Rice football, when we come off the rock, when we're getting our hands on people, and then when we're delivering blows, like, just think about Chuck actually said something to me today as we were walking off the field. He's like, every one of Ty Morris's hits I heard. And you do. And he's like, I don't know if it's just because I was on the field and was that close, but that was a physical football game, and we knew it would be. And our goal was to be more physical than they were. And, man, we were most of the game. I'm really proud of how, we've got so many guys that are banged up with different injuries. These aren't hangnails. These are like week 7, week 8 of the football season that they're fighting through. And so those guys that make the decision to go out there and fight for their teammates and play through that, and then still, again, they just go play football the right way, put their pads on people. It's a lot of fun and a lot to be proud of.
And speaking of those guys here, a little bit more on Myron, who had a season-high 7 tackles, and just his path and what he's developed into.
Yeah, it was Myron's best game this year, I think. I really loved watching him and how he was all over the field. He's continued to ascend this year. But just the leadership role that Myron holds, the trust that we all have in Myron, just an outstanding person and an outstanding Rice Owl football player.
And Ty Morris, we were talking in another interview, his maturation. What have you seen from Ty? Maybe things that we don't see. We see leading tackler, but a lot of work went into that in the offseason. And heck, once he stepped on campus, he's put in that work, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's always looked the part, right? And he had a great high school career. I'll never forget, I always mess with him. I went to one of his games where They were playing him at safety, and he was kind of just over the ball and had the freedom to go and run and hit wherever the ball was, and he's so good in that role. And that's what we've been able to do in this defense, is find him opportunities to run and hit and see ball, get ball, and I think Coach K's done a wonderful job growing him up through this game, getting him more comfortable with his pass drops and a better understanding overall of the defense. And I think, you know how I feel about Coach Smith and the creativity he has with his defense and how he calls it, how he plans it. But the tempo and the violence that our linebacker room's playing with right now is just different. It really is. It's so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch the run and hit mindset. It's so fun to watch running backs go backwards like they're supposed to in this game and not fall forward for leaky yards.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thanks, bud.
Appreciate it. Dunlevie family
Yes,
football
sir.
coach for Rice Owls, Mike Bloomgren. Stay tuned. Coming up next, one of those run and hit guys coming up next. Myron Morrison coming up here at Meet Cocina. It's the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
Rice teams and traditions are legendary. Our team as strategic wealth designers are proud to be a partner of Rice Athletics. What an honor to be working together. When you're ready to discuss your financial future, call the team the Owls trust. We look forward to creating your winning strategy for retirement. Visit us at swdgroup.com today and go Owls.
Rice fans, need a place to stay while watching your Owls play ball? Located just steps from campus is the Hilton Houston Medical Center. Visit us today at houstonplaza.hilton.com or call 713-313-4000 to get that special Rice discount. Again, that's houstonplaza.hilton.com or call 713-313-4000 to get that special Rice discount now.
Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer for those who don't follow trends but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is a premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. So don't just raise a glass, raise a flight by Yingling, official beer partner of Rice Athletics and now available everywhere in Texas. The Yingling Company, Fort Worth, Texas. Please enjoy responsibly.
North Star Pressure Washing is a full-service pressure washing company able to provide any type of exterior cleaning to your property, whether you're a small business looking to improve your appearance for your customers or you're a property owner looking to add curb appeal to your home. In addition to improving your property's appearance, our services will also protect your property from the damage mildew, algae, and other airborne contaminants can cause, thus extending the life of your home or property. Remember North Star Pressure Washing for all your pressure washing needs. Big or small, our company does it all.
Attention thrill seekers and luxury enthusiasts. Ever wondered what it's like to command the road in a Porsche? Stop wondering and start driving. Right now at Porsche River Oaks, we are inviting you to take the driver's seat and feel the power of precision engineering with our exclusive test drives. Our knowledgeable team is ready to put you behind the wheel, allowing you to unleash the true potential of a Porsche. From the all-new design 2014 Cayenne to the versatile Macan, discover the thrill of performance and luxury craftsmanship of Porsche. Schedule your test drive at Porsche River Oaks today. Exclusive benefits to students and alumni. Go Owls!
This is the Mike Bloomgren Show, live at Meet Cocina. Now here again, the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Yes, you know it here every Monday night of a game week for the rest of the season. Not to overplan things, but I think Nate's in for me in a few weeks, and we have some basketball duties, but we'll worry about that at the appropriate time. Ty Moore is coming up next, to linebackers coach John Kay, and then Coach Bloom and I talk about the trip up Yukon way over there to East Hartford. Joined now by a man very familiar on this platform and many, and on your Rice Owls roster for oh so many years, Myron Morrison on the Rice Owls. Year 5?
Year 6.
Year 6, okay. See, they all jumble together. Coming in, did you think, I mean, obviously you couldn't predict it, everything that led to the extra eligibility, you'd have 6 years of college football to put on your resume?
Right. Coming in, when I was a freshman, we actually had maybe 1 or 2 6-year seniors on the roster. I remember one was Aston Walter. I just remember thinking to myself, wow, this guy was here when I was in middle school. Like, this guy was alive when Tupac was alive. Like, that could never be me. I just remember how foreign that idea thought to me. And it's just crazy to see, the way things turn out. And here I'm in those shoes that he was in 6 years ago.
I remember you telling, it was either before last season or the season before, you saying, heck, I'm the old guy now. Well, now you got 2 years extra onto that, right?
Right.
How has this season been for you balancing, hey, it's your last run, I know you're not thinking about all that, but with so much experience behind you, is it a slower game and a fast game? Like, are things are never easy, but are they easier? You know what I'm trying to ask is have you drawn on that experience in those previous 5 years?
Right, no, definitely. Like when you've been around the block, there's definitely a slower pace to the game as far as what you can expect. You know, I think in more recent years, and especially, I've had coaching changes throughout my career, and my room has changed a lot throughout the different segments of the time I've been at Rice. And, I've had so many different ways to approach the game, different tips and preparation. The way Coach K may teach me how to watch film or things to pay attention to as far as alignments and what to expect. And then coaches like Coach Taylor Sauer, who's having third down meetings and giving me insight on things that I didn't think to key in on before at previous times in my career. So, definitely so many different aspects have changed and definitely slowed down the game for me. Yep.
Before the end of summer camp, you're telling me, hey, I think we've got 7 starting linebackers in this unit, and it could be the deepest, as JP talking, like the deepest unit you have. So how have you seen that play? And I think last week at the podium you were saying, hey, just Coach K pushes the right buttons, getting the right end, but does that make things more comfortable on your end, knowing, hey, if I leave, a guy's coming in that's just as solid?
Definitely. There was a point maybe 2 or 3 years ago where I was expecting to play 70, 80 snaps a game. And, nowadays it's great knowing that we have guys that can rotate in. There's so many guys in our room that can play. And seeing them play at a high level and succeed, and knowing that confidence is across the board for really, like I said, 7 or 8 guys.
You told us going into last week how special it was going to be going back close to your birthplace and how much Baton Rouge meant to you and your dad, and we'll talk about it in a second. But how cool was that now in retrospect, having gone back, and I know you wanted to win, but playing so well, and I'm sure in front of a lot of family and friends there.
Right, it was really cool. I had a lot of people come out, my grandmother, a lot of people who are getting older in my family getting that opportunity to come see me play in person that haven't had that opportunity very often, even through the 6 years that I've been here. So, it was great. I love the city of New Orleans, so it was just great to be pretty close to home for that.
You've said before how big your dad's impact was. You played DB at Southern. Discuss his. It's an impossible question here, but how much he meant to you in the respect of football, at least, how he impacted you, and ever consider another sport? Was it always just all ball here?
Well, to speak on my dad, if you're specifically in Baton Rouge, but everybody knows my dad from the sports aspect. He played in high school. He was varsity baseball, track, football, and basketball. So he's set records in all of those things. So people know him as a great baseball player, and I don't know a thing about what he's done in baseball. So people just know him from so many different aspects. And so I think just knowing, and me having the same name as him as well. So when people hear Myron Morrison, they may not even know that I play football, but somebody that my dad knew 20 years ago hears that name, they're reaching out like, is that you? And then we resemble so much. So I just know that everything I do reflects on him and represents him. So, I just make it a point to really keep that image clean and try to do, do his name well.
Well, I know you've done him well. I ran into him almost literally before the Army game. After I talked to Boss, I came up and they're right there. We talked for a while. I know how proud they are of you. Did you ever consider any other sports? Did you have any other inklings? Was it track, any basketball, or was it just football?
I played basketball in high school up until my junior year, and that's when my linebacker coach came to basketball practice and told me, yeah, we're going to cut this off. And he told me, just let's go ahead and focus. We don't need any ankle injuries, anything like that. So that's where that ended. I ran track in the off seasons to just stay in shape and things like that. I did triple jump, and I did the 100, and obviously just things in practice to stay in shape for it.
Talking with Myron Morrison here on the Mike Bloomgren Show. You've got a unique backstory, and I want to tell it in a different way, or heck, just tell the same thing again for those that might not know how, speaking of your dad and his job, you grew up and you went in different parts of North America. I don't think any international stuff, or was it Baton Rouge, Canada, here, anywhere else?
Right. Well, Baton Rouge born. I moved to the Washington, D.C. area.
That's right.
In 2004. Then came to Houston in 2008 for the first time, and then moved to Ontario, Canada in 2011 through 14. then I've been back in Houston since 14.
That's where you developed your Tim Hortons addiction, right?
Right. You know, they opened one up in Katy, so
I do. I haven't. I've driven by and I'm like, I got to stop there and get Myron a gift card. I guess we can do that these days now. But how did that all shape you? And again, that's the only backstory you know. But for folks like most of us that go to one high school, maybe went off to college somewhere, but how did that shape your perspective? And combining it with going such an international and unique university, to kind of prepare you for that? Or what? I mean, it's not different to you though. You adjusted to so many different types in your path.
I think it just made me able to appreciate so many different cultures and the ability to be able to mesh with so many different types of people. You know, I've been in very diverse situation settings, and then also like in Canada, it's a completely different culture to where you may be the only person who looks like me in a lot of settings. So I think it just made me very well-rounded in how to navigate different rooms.
I mean, obviously, playing football is in your future, hopefully. But if everything being equal, if you had a spot, was there a favorite one you'd go back to? Was it up in Canada A? You don't seem like you have much of a Canada twang or going around. Like, do you have a spot?
It was Houston because, like I said, I lived in Houston first, moved to Canada. Yeah. The whole time I was away, the goal was how fast can we get back to Houston? Yeah. How fast can we get rid of these coats and having to shovel my driveway and everything? So it's always been Houston, yes.
Yeah, best of both worlds with Tim Hortons now in Houston. Right. Can take the boy out of Houston, can't take the Houston, the Texas out of the boy. All right, Walter, I don't know if we can do this engineering, but if we can mute Coach K from listening to this next conversation, because Myron was talking some serious smack because there's a huge Atascocita North Shore game coming up this weekend.
Right, and
break it down for us.
I mean, 2 teams 7-0. I think this is the year for us, though. You know, I always joke with Coach K. I think I'm the only player on the roster who's beat him on the high school, and I didn't do it once. We did it twice. So, you know, I think they could go ahead and do that again this Friday.
What's it been like playing for him, though?
It's been great. I mean, like I was saying earlier, like the amount of development and ways to look at the game, think about the game that I learned after my 4th year, since Coach K has been here, it's been tremendous. And then you just see his impact across the board on all the guys in our room. Guys like Andrew Alway, the tremendous impact he's had on him in the past 2 years. You know, Alway's a guy, he's 1 year younger than me, but he's been here for a long time as well. Yeah. You just see the leaps and bounds that he's made with Coach K. It's been amazing.
What's a key Saturday at UConn?
We know that this is going to be a really talented O-line. This is going to be a great challenge for us. And I'm very excited about it. I think that, you know, it's something where we can continue to attack the decision maker. You know, we're one of the leading teams in minus yardage plays, you know, creating havoc beyond the line of scrimmage. But, you know, a big thing for us right now is we need to take the ball away. Obviously, you know, we're limiting explosives and, you know, we've been doing that pretty well, but we need to take the ball away across the board.
Hey, it's been great getting to know you. Best of luck. Honor calling your games. Look forward to a long career for you, and thank you so much. Appreciate you. Great. Myron Morrison. My favorite number, by the way, 33. Not a coincidence. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll go to Ty Morris joining us here at Meet Cocina. It's the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
Football fans are passionate, just like John Deere fans. And if you're a John Deere person, the name to know is Shoppers. In football, it's about calling the right plays. The right call for John Deere equipment is Shoppers. Shoppers has the right size John Deere tractor with attachments for any job. You can build your tractor online with Shoppers' exclusive Build It, Price It, Own It tool. See all our John Deere specials by Googling Shoppers at SHOPPAS. It's time for you to make the right call. Shoppers, your John Deere tractor experts and proud sponsor of Rice Athletics.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The parking spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking, and you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at the parking spot. The Parking Spot, proud sponsor of Rice University. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
Whether running a marathon or walking your dog, every movement matters. But when you're in pain, simple activities can feel unbearable. At Houston Methodist Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, our specialists can help you heal faster using the latest technology, minimally invasive procedures, and advanced physical therapy. As the top-ranked hospital in Texas, we have the expertise to keep you moving and help you get back to doing the things you love. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Anomaly Brewing, our greatest achievement lives in knowing that everything we've learned is yours to enjoy. While it may not be rocket science, we brew with the same detail and dedication learned while running mission operations for NASA. Taking risks is part of our DNA. We don't take them just to say we did, we take them because of the result. Bold brews we're proud to share with fellow adventure seekers. True Anomaly Brewing, beer for the explorers.
You're listening to the latest on Owls football with the head coach, Mike Bloomgren. Now let's go back inside Mi Cocina.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome back here, Mi Cocina. Outstanding grub, nachos, fajitas, any kind of combination is just amazing. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we have linebackers coach John Kay. Right now, Al's leading tackler, Ty Morris, joins us now. How are you doing, young man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Outstanding. Thanks for coming on out. I mean, you're, like we were saying in the break, I mean, Houston guy as well. I mean, get some good Tex-Mex. That's your kind of night, huh?
Yes, sir.
Throw down some good nachos?
Yes, sir.
Pretty good. What has been different? Like, you were great in flashes last year, but you've been very consistent leading tackler a lot of this year. What's new or what's been different? Is it maturing? Obviously, some coaching, I'd imagine, too. What's helped you excel this year?
What helped me excel this year from a big jump from last year to this year is mainly understanding the scheme of the defense. Last year, I wasn't like too confident in the scheme, but going into spring ball, I was trying to mainly work on understanding the scheme, getting my footwork right, especially going into for this season. And like we were saying, Coach K has been developing me over and over and over again, so it's helping me be consistent and play fast and confident.
Tell us, coming to Rice, what stood out? Obviously, being a local guy, just up I-45 there, and want to be an anesthesiologist, so that pairs nicely with the education. What was the big selling point, I guess, going back a couple of years now?
Well, going back, I mean, it was obviously a no-brainer, right up the street from home. And another thing, just getting to play with my brother. A lot of people don't get the opportunity to play with your brother. And then me going to be an anesthesiologist assistant, why not come to Rice to get that Rice University degree? And on top of going into Rice 2023, we was moving to the American League, so that's also a good chance to play good football and compared to the other schools that I had offers from.
Yeah. Obviously knew El Royal was your brother, but I did think of it from the recruiting standpoint, like, man, you got another recruiter on the staff. I'm sure that helps even more, right? Because you're most likely a couple years coming to Rice games or watching, listening, and whatnot, right?
Yes, sir. Always coming to the Rice games, watching my brother play, and always coming up here every weekend since it's right up the street. Anytime in the home game, I was there. So it's easy to accessible. Me and my parents just come up here after the game, and sometimes I go home after the game just since it's right up the street. So it was always a no-brainer to come to Rice University.
What motivated you to want to become an anesthesiologist?
It's a crazy story because growing up, I was watching General Hospital just on ABC with my parents. So every time we used to watch this doctor show. It was like kind of like a doctor show. So I was just fascinated with the medical field. So I was just always, and the main character was an anesthesiologist. So I was like, dang, I might as well try to be an anesthesiologist as well. So that kind of like inspired me to be what I want to be today.
Wow. So watching stories with mom or whoever in the family,
yes, sir,
and that clicked. That was a motivating factor. That's fascinating,
sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
What's been a challenging course or two? Because as you know better than I, no cupcake classes there around ICU, right?
Well, going into my freshman year, I'd say the most challenging class was probably biology 231. It was pretty different, especially coming from high school to Rice University. I just had to adjust. But as my academic advisor was always saying, don't be afraid to ask for help. So I was just going to all the study sessions, getting tutors just to help me through the course and help me pass the class.
Yeah. And having talked to athletes in the past that are seniors and people that are adults, they say after that freshman year, take a deep breath. Is that case now, being your sophomore year, I guess, almost halfway through? I guess you had some summer hours, too. You might have moved over. But how is that now compared to last year on the academic side?
Well, on the academic side, it's been a big jump because my time management has been way better from freshman year to this year, optimizing my time with football, class, and sleep. So I've been way better with managing my time and getting my assignments and comparing and put it in categorizing what I need to do here in and out.
I don't want to assume anything. Were you a Texans fan growing up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any favorite linebacker? It could be any position. And any favorite players?
Right now, I got to say my man, C.J. Stroud. He's turning around for the Houston program. So, yes, sir. It's always we've been having some down years in the past, but C.J.'s bringing us up. So, hopefully we can make it to that Super Bowl this year.
Again, I don't know if I'm asking this right from a football sense, but is there a linebacker you can pattern your game after? I know if it's God-given and your instincts, but is there a favorite linebacker you have that, like, I like that little nuance and that thing there? Is there somebody you kind of...
Yes, sir. I always look at Fred Warner's film, man. He's just impeccable. Like, I just try to match my game off he do based on, like, the way he dissects offenses, his zone drops, how they're intentional, his intentions with his punch tackle and his tackle, just to think about always making a big play, get the little turnover, what we need in today's game.
Yeah. Something else I'm fascinated. You're like a lava lamp to me. You got so many accomplishments, but after we talked in the summer, I looked up, I think I saw it on Twitter somewhere, your jersey in baseball was retired by Duquesne. Did I have that right? Did I see that detail?
Yes, sir. So they actually retired my baseball jersey because I believe I was the first person to get MVP and defensive MVP for my football defensive MVP and all-district MVP for that year. So they decided to retire my jersey since I made such a big impact in the community.
So come on, you know what's coming next. Was there thoughts college baseball? Did you even have that leaning? Because I know that's a whole other commitment from year round,
yes,
the way it is now. Did you ever think about playing or balancing both?
I thought about playing. Well, at first, like growing up, coming into all the way until I believe sophomore year, I was just thinking about going to college for straight baseball. But as I got into like sophomore year, football just. The love for football just grew way. I stopped playing travel ball because I wanted to focus more on football. Then I got my first scholarship, I believe, my sophomore year. So I stopped playing summer ball, focusing more on football.
All right. So I'm not bragging. I got some pull with Coach Cruz. I could put a good word in. Not saying you'd have to earn your spot, but not going to worry about that.
Yes, sir.
No, just you're fine with the grid.
Yeah, I'm good right here. I'm just trying to focus on football.
Like I could actually do anything right. You know what you're doing. Tell us about keys the rest of the year. We played a little more than half the year, but what are some keys, take it how you want, defense, team-wise, the rest of the year to get some W's here?
So for starters, defensively, we just have to keep that competitive stamina. We got to play here and from first quarter. We've been playing exceptionally good for the first half, and we just have to keep that up through 15 minutes of each single quarter, especially in the third quarter. We got to come out hot and cause more turnovers for the offense to put offense in good field position.
Good. Do you still watch General Hospital or not?
No, sir.
Got any new stories?
No, sir. I didn't grow out of that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It worked out good for you. Hey, thanks. It's been great getting to know you. Obviously, your play speaks for itself on the field, but look forward to a lot more time here. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. The Ty Morris joining us here. How about that? Great stories. Great stories. Stay with us. Coming up next, his position coach, John Kay, will join us here at Meet Cocina in the Monkey Bar. This is the Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
Owl fans know where to stay when they come to Houston. Courtyard by Marriott, Rice University is the preferred choice, whether cheering on Coach Bloomgren and the team or kicking off their Rice experience during O Week. Just minutes from Rice Village and only 3 miles to campus, we provide the right mix of convenience and accessibility. When you're hungry, stop by the bistro for either breakfast or evening options. Cheer for the Owls by raising a glass in the lounge and unwind with your favorite beverage. Call 713-661-5669 to make a reservation and be sure to ask for the Rice University rate. We look forward to welcoming you.
You ready for the big game? Fuel up for game day at Salad and Go. Whether you're tailgating, playing in the game, or cheering from home, make sure you've got your game day greens. From fresh salads to hearty wraps and refreshing drinks, Salad and Go has what you need to fill up and feel great. Score big with game day greens from Salad and Go. It's just what you need to win the day. Find a drive-thru near you at saladandgo.com or order online at saladandgo.com.
Rice teams and traditions are legendary. Our team as strategic wealth designers are proud to be a partner of Rice Athletics. What an honor to be working together. When you're ready to discuss your financial future, call the team the Owls trust. We look forward to creating your winning strategy for retirement. Visit us at swdgroup.com today, and go Owls.
Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer for those who don't follow trends but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery with only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories. This is a premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. So don't just raise a glass, raise a flight by Yingling, official beer partner of Rice Athletics and now available everywhere in Texas. The Yingling Company, Fort Worth, Texas. Please enjoy responsibly.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network, now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
Welcome back to the Mike Bloomgren Show. Here's the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Yes, you know it. Back here, the Mike Bloomgren Show. Me, Cocina, 4110 Westheimer. It is some great grub. It is some great folks here, Armando. Leo is kind of developed into our mascot here. He is our resident bartender. He said, I've got to come at the Mike Bloomgren Show. At least I'm putting those words in his mouth. He's here right there helping us out. Joined now by second-year linebackers coach for Rice House, John Kay. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming out. What's your, you're Houston through and through. What's your Tex-Mex meal du jour? Like,
well, I'm normally a fajita guy. I stepped out of my comfort zone a little bit and got the shrimp tacos, the Diablo shrimp tacos. They were phenomenal. So,
yeah,
yep.
Can't go wrong.
Can never.
We got two of your very deep linebacking room here. Tell us about the unit as a whole. An unfair question because you have so many talented guys and what you've seen from this year and their ebbs and flows and the way they've developed.
Yeah, it is a deep room. It's a kids that I think believe in each other and they believe in the scheme, and it's fun to be part of it. We had a great conversation today where it's everybody kind of throwing in and giving ideas and talking together, and I think that's critical when you're asking multiple kids to play. And Myron kind of mentioned it. There's 6 guys that are playing real snaps, and the trust that they have in each other and the conversations that I hear on the sideline coming off the field are phenomenal. I'm learning so much football, listening to these guys coach each other. And so I think that's special. And, I told them, I think before the season started, like, you may never be around this much talent in a room again, regardless of how much football you play. And I think they're showing that on a week in and week out basis.
When you have a young guy like Ty, when it clicks for him, was that a game or you knew he might have a season like this? You never really know, but do you see it in the offseason or towards the end of last year that this was coming maybe?
Yeah, I think, Coach Bloom kind of mentioned how creative Brian Smith's defense is and his ability to, find ways to get guys in the fold. And I think Ty did that last year. You could see the raw talent. And but what he brought was just a love for the game. And that's what you see day in and day out. When you got a guy who loves the game and is willing to be physical, and he's you can do some special things. And I think every day you just see that growth. And we see it in practice. I'm sure Myron would tell you we'd see it in the meeting room. But these last 3 weeks, I think he's just seen a skyrocket, and the exciting part is he's nowhere close to hitting the ceiling, and so I think he understands that, and I got no doubt that he'll keep working and continue on the path that he's on.
And Myron, like another coach on the field in his 6th year, huh?
Yes, without doubt. He's the rock in there, and not just in the linebacker room, not just on defense. I just think every kid knows who they can go to if they've got a question about anything. And Myron's extremely approachable. I think that speaks volumes about his leadership in the program. And, when I think about Rice football, I think about Myron Morrison. And so, we said it before. He's worked his way into being the face of this program. For me, defensively, he's the guy that I think of, a local guy from Atascocita that's finishing up his master's degree. Like that's what you want as a Rice Owl, and I don't think we could be more proud of anybody than what he's doing.
You heard his friendly smack talk, and then in sense of equal time, Do you remember anything about him that stood out? Because you've seen so much ball in your day, but do you remember anything about him?
I don't remember anything about him specifically. I remember his name. I remember him being on our board. I do remember getting beat twice. He brings that up often. I keep asking him to bring his state championship rings in so that we can compare, but he hasn't done that. He hasn't done that yet. So we'll keep working towards that. But you talk about just an unbelievable rivalry on the east side of Houston, the Tascasita North Shore, and then you had in Summer Creek, and you had in Channelview and Sea King, and that whole area up there is phenomenal football, and those were absolute battles. And and every time we finished it was shake hands and the mutual respect of those two programs. Coach Stump does a phenomenal job, and they've been pumping out Division I talent out of that school left and right. And so I'm excited to see this Friday how it turns out.
The list is long, and we've had a few at Rice over the years and other schools, and they've made, like Joey McGuire, the one that came to the mind in his time at DeSoto and whatnot. But was that an easy decision for you when it was made? I don't know how it happened, or was it a tough one because of what you had built up a couple years back?
I think there was a lot of factors involved. The biggest factor for me was who I'm working for, and so there's, especially being at the high school level, you get access to a lot of college coaches, and especially at a school that's producing some talent, and some people went in there to recruit, and I think that's what always struck me about Coach Bloom. When we knew each other, when he got to Houston before, he offered me a job here. He's a football coach, and that's what I wanted to be around, and so I had a great situation there, but he and I have talked about it because he's probably one of the few that get it. The opportunity to get into a room and have the relationships that you can have as a position coach is far different than what you can be as a head coach, and I wanted to get back to that, and so he offered me that opportunity. It's been a phenomenal experience for me, a lot of personal growth, not just from him and his leadership, but also the room, and I think you learn that as an educator. You can learn a hell of a lot more from these kids than they can learn from you if you're just willing to shut up and listen, and I'm certainly willing to do that, and these guys have taken me a long way.
You read my mind. My next question was, what have you learned about yourself in these 2 years that, as accomplished as you were, the ball never stops? Like, what have you learned here in these last couple of years that have helped you the most?
Yeah, I think it's just more about, the value of stepping out of your comfort zone and continuing to be a lifelong learner. And I think a lot of people say it, and I know I said it in that position to all the kids that I coached about the value of stepping out and getting uncomfortable again. But I didn't really practice it because I was in an extremely comfortable position where I was at. And so to step out and take this leap and just get back around these guys on a day-to-day basis in the very grassroots of football. It's been a journey. I felt like a middle school coach again, and that was frightening and exciting all at the same time. And so that part, I'll never be able to replace that experience, and couldn't be more grateful for what they've given me.
Just not driving the yellow dog, are you?
Yeah.
Who is your coaching influencer to growing up as you rose the ranks?
Well, I worked under David Amon, who's a Hall of Honor coach for THSCA at North Shore, and there's very little that I do that hasn't been influenced by him. Growing up, I grew up in Detroit, and so I was a big Michigan fan, and that whole Big Ten kind of mindset of practice physical, run the ball, play great defense. That fit right into Coach Bloom and a lot of things that he preaches, and just having the opportunity to be part of this, it's another influence that'll stay with me the rest of my career.
Hey, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you very much. The great John Kay, linebackers coach for Rice House. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll take a look at those Yukon Huskies. Coach Bloom comes back here. The Mike Bloomgren Show from Learfield.
Behind every door at Houston Methodist, you know what to expect. Expertise. Whether it's life-saving brain surgery, your 3D mammogram that catches breast cancer sooner, or orthopedic specialists helping you feel stronger than ever. With hundreds of doors across Houston, you can get expert care everywhere.
That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
North Star Pressure Washing is a full-service pressure washing company able to provide any type of exterior cleaning to your property, whether you're a small business looking to improve your appearance for your customers or you're a property owner looking to add curb appeal to your home. In addition to improving your property's appearance, our services will also protect your property from the damage mildew, algae, and other airborne contaminants can cause, thus extending the life of your home or property. Remember North Star Pressure Washing for all your pressure washing needs. Big or small, our company does it all.
Attention thrill seekers and luxury enthusiasts. Ever wondered what it's like to command the road in a Porsche? Stop wondering and start driving. Right now at Porsche River Oaks, we are inviting you to take the driver's seat and feel the power of precision engineering with our exclusive test drives. Our knowledgeable team is ready to put you behind the wheel, allowing you to unleash the true potential of a Porsche. From the all-new design 2014 Cayenne to the versatile Macan, discover the thrill of performance and luxury craftsmanship of Porsche. Schedule your test drive at Porsche River Oaks today. Exclusive benefits to students and alumni. Go Owls!
At True Anomaly Brewing, our greatest achievement lives in knowing that everything we've learned is yours to enjoy. While it may not be rocket science, we brew with the same detail and dedication learned while running mission operations for NASA. Taking risks is part of our DNA. We don't take them just to say we did, we take them because of the result. Bold brews we're proud to share with fellow adventure seekers. True Anomaly Brewing, beer for the explorers.
This is the Mike Bloomgren Show, live at Cocina. Now here again, the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Wrapping it up here at Cocina. It's the Rice Owls and the Yukon Huskies coming up. We got some national TV, 2:30 on CBS Sports Network on Saturday. Of course, Nate and I, Walter, Jason. We have the call on the Varsity Network app, Rice Owls Game Day app, et cetera, on the audio side. So sync us up if you think about it. But how about Yukon?
Before we talk about them, can we talk about those three that came up here and took the mic like pros? I mean, obviously JK's had plenty of mics in his face while he's been this great coach that won all these state championships at North Shore. I thought his comment about the rings was awesome, by the way. To Myro, yeah. That was a good one. That was good. But, you know, just the outstanding master coach that he is with that room and just watching the development that he's had. It's funny, like, hearing him talk about, like, taking this opportunity. It's like, man, he is just such a good football coach. And, man, it's fun to watch what he's done with that room. And you talk about the number of guys, like, it goes back to Myron. I remember when Myron was young, we had a spring where we had 3 linebackers in the program. Like, Myron didn't just take 70 snaps in a game. He took 150 in a scrimmage. Like, that's what we had. And now, you know, we've built some depth, and you got Myro. I also remember when John Kay asked Myron in our player evaluation meeting, and he just said to him, Myron, are you the face of our program? And Myron of our defense. And Myron said, I'm one of the faces on our defense. And we were like, no. You are the face of our defense. John looked at him and said that. That's what you have to be. And that was a challenge we issued to Myron, again, 2 years ago, and he's been that. And so proud of him. And then so cool to see Ty Morris become the player that he is today. And like John said, nowhere near his ceiling. Like, this guy, I was so worried about him not being a Rice Owl. I don't know if I knew this about the anesthesiologist part, but I was so worried about him not being a Rice Owl because he batted 650 or whatever. I was worried about him getting drafted in Major League Baseball. I was scared he would never be a Rice Owl. So just so happy those 3 are part of our program today.
And going to UConn, they lost that really close one to Wake Forest, and obviously some of the muscle memory from last year, some of the key parts. I was doing my charts last couple of days. Are in the same spots, but quarterback Evers, I know, has been pretty steady for them.
He has. You know, when he's played in games, he's different. He's a true runner. I think you look at the fact that they've got 4 dudes that have toted the ball 49 times or more, and he's one of them. And he hasn't played in every game, missed 2 games. So, number one, their commitment to running the rock and to running the stretch play, they're really good at it. And that's why, again, going into Wake Forest, they were averaging 220 yards a game on the ground and doing some really good things. So we've got to stop the run. But who better to stop the run than our D-line and our linebackers? We're going to put the ball in their court. Hey, man, you want to run that thing another time? Let's introduce you to Myron Morrison and Ty Morris once again. So, like, that's great. Defensively, like, they're Star Wars, man. It looks like one of those fighting scenes from Star Wars where the things are flying all over the screen. And this defensive coordinator, Matt Brock's been trained by Rocky Long. It's all that system. He was the defensive coordinator at Mississippi State last year, and you go back and watch him kind of coordinate some things, and how he does it is very similar to Rocky Long with the movement patterns, the post-snap movement by the D-line, the post-snap blitzes. And it really is just people going everywhere, and they have a lot of talent on this roster. This is going to require us to have a great week of prep and go play some good football to come back with that dub.
I can't wait, Coach.
Let's do it, man.
Thanks much.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Dunlevie family head football coach for Rice Owls, Mike Bloomgren. Appreciate everybody for coming out tonight. Also appreciate our linebacking core guest, among others, Ty Morris and Myron Morrison, and, of course, John Kay. Can't wait to check that app Friday night or check the score of who's going to win that big North Shore Atascocita game. Thanks to Walter here and Talik back at the studio. Thanks to you for tuning in and coming out. Have a great rest of this night. God bless. Go Owls. Rice Fight. We'll talk to you Saturday from Yukon. Yes, indeed. Rice Fight. This has been Rice Football from Learfield.
On the Rice Sports Network from Learfield, you've been listening to the Mike Bloomgren Show, live from Cocina. Cocina, serving undeniably authentic Tex-Mex. Tonight's show was brought to you by The Parking Spot. The Parking Spot. We have airport parking covered. The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 716, lighting up Rice University in Houston for over 100 years. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Rice Sports Network.